All right. All right, so if you're joining us later from the YouTube, you're going to want 2 bed pillows and a yoga block for your work today, and then maybe some blankets, especially if it's still cold. If you still have snow on the ground, keep your sweater on, maybe your socks. We're going to start with the split spine. So you're going to take your 2 bed pillows, and hopefully they're roughly about the same firmness and the same height, sort of feeling going on. So you're going to put them side by side so that they're long ways on your mat and there's a little split between the two. And then you're going to sit your butt right down in front of that split of the seam of your pillows. Yoga block off to the side for right now. You might like it later, but just have it handy and nearby constantly so you can always prop up places that want that little bit of extra. So once you've got your split seam, you've got this nice little split of your pillow, you're going to start to go nice and slow, bring your back down onto the pillow. What we want to achieve is that it's kind of holding up the erector muscles so that the spine has a little space to sink into, and then the erector muscles feel like they're just lovingly being held in like sort of a upward U feeling. So come down onto your pillows, and then arms out wide in T position, arms in cactus goalpost position, or arms in a restful position that feels beneficial, something that feels nice. Legs are going to start in bent knee constructive rest, and then we're going to adjust our legs as we go on. So get your first part sort of figured out. Get that split seam, get your head where you want it to be. Get your back muscles being held up in that slight upward lifting U shape, and then slow your breath down for a moment. Once you've got a comfortable enough position, your arms are where they feel the best, your back body feels like it's being held up and supported by your pillows, and your legs feel like they don't have to work too hard. Then you're just going to see if you can slow your breath down. Think inhale through your nose, exhale through your nose, but that slow, low, and deep trajectory of breath. So you want to breathe downward past the rib cage, down into the pelvic floor, and then exhale, let everything excursion back upwards. And as we follow this nice, low, slow, deep breath, think of that breath as doing the movement portion right now. So when you're breathing and you're getting that nice big 360 breath, getting the rib cage to open and expand, the wateriness of your body moves. So there's a slight sense of movement all the way out to the edges of your skin. So see if you can slow your breath down and deepen it so much that you could almost feel that touch of movement out to the edges of your skin. All right, now keeping your spine in that supported position, you're going to just put a little space between your knees, and your right leg is just going to hop over the left, a low figure four. We're going to stay nice and low with this figure four shape. And then once you've got this nice low figure four, let your leg be soft. So now your thigh bone's in that slight external rotation. Leg is resting against the left leg in that support system. And then you're just going to come back to that idea of breathing into that wateriness of your body. Breathe out to the edges of your skin. Everything else is going to stay in that support system, but now you're just going to switch that low figure four. So right foot's going to step down, left leg is going to step across the right. Let the knee fall open into that low figure four position. And then once you've got that figured out, just come back to that idea of breathing into the wateriness of your body. Breathe so you can feel into the imagination and feel that movement of breath out into the edges of your skin. Take one more breath. Uncross the left leg from the right, step your feet just a little bit wider, and then take some light little windshield wipers. Still keeping with that little split spine so that you just get that feeling of being held up and supported in the muscles of the back. Let your knees drift just a little bit side to side just to bring a little bit of aliveness into your body. And then we're going to go into a big good morning stretch. So now you're going to walk your feet nice and long to the end of your mat. Arms are going to stretch up above your head. Point your toes, spread your fingers, and take a nice big inhale so that you yawn and reach out to the edges of your skin. And then your exhale carries you into a little bit of softness. And then we're going to slowly scoop our way up. So let your hands come out like a snow angel all the way out to your sides, and then scoop your way up nice and slow so that you can take your stack of pillows. And now you're going to stack them and move them off to the right side of your mat. So you're going to put them into a nice hearty stack, put them off to the right. Yoga block could be underneath your head if you like here. We're going to go into our open book twist. So you're going to come onto your side. And then you're going to ask yourself, would it feel good to have a little bit of support underneath your head? And if that would feel nice, I would say yoga block low setting underneath your head like a pillow. And then we're going to go a little open and closed to start. So you're just going to go into that open book and then come back into that closed position. And then as you go along here, especially if you've got the yoga block underneath your head, sometimes it's a little finicky about like where you place it so that it feels good as you come open and close. So it might just be a little bit of a readjust as you go along. And then the next 3, you're just going to see if you can follow your breath. Inhale as you come into the closed position, and exhale as you open up. Right, now we're going to open up into our open book twist, and we're going to stay there. So now it's going to take it into that longer hold. So adjust so that the block underneath your head, if you've got it underneath your head, feels good and it's supporting you and you don't have to work too hard. Your arms can open out nice and wide. The stack of pillows happily supports your knee in that lifted position. And then you're into that open twist. Now, for some of us, backhand doesn't necessarily touch the floor, so you're just going to let it be a little bit heavy. But if it can touch the floor, go ahead and let it. And then see here if you can just soften the soles of your feet and soften your jaw. We're going to add we're going to stay in this twisted position. We're going to add just a little bit of novel movement. So it'll feel counterintuitive to the shape that you're in, but go with me, it's playful. So you're going to scrunch up the bottom of your feet and lift your eyebrows. And then you're going to relax the bottoms of your feet and relax your eyebrows. So that's going to be the work. Scrunch up your feet or dome up your feet and lift your eyebrows. And then let your eyebrows relax and let your soles of your feet soften. So you're just alternating between those two spaces. Scrunch the feet, lift the eyebrows, soften the eyebrows, soften the feet. And then at first, finding that sort of novel movement might feel like you have to like really tune in. But then once you feel like you've got sort of a rhythm, scrunch the feet, lift the eyebrows, soften the feet, soften the eyebrows, come back to your breath. Keep that work going, but see if you can just get that slower, deeper, intentional breath to come back in. All right, take one more movement of those feet and the eyebrows, and then let everything come to stillness. Slowly unwind from that open book twist. Take a second to find your way there, and then roll off of your stack of pillows. Now, I'm going to flip myself around so I'm facing out to you, but you're going to flip yourself around in a way that makes good sense so that you can find yourself over to the other side. So whether that's just rolling on across, taking your pillows, spinning yourself around, go where it feels good. And then once you've got the other side, and the other side might feel and look a little bit different. So the other side might be like no head on the yoga block, head on the ground, one pillow, two pillows, maybe it's a yoga block. So go around in a way that feels good. And then once you found that just that support team, then you're going to start to find that little bit of open and close, not shooting necessarily for full range of motion, but just looking for a little bit of expansiveness, noticing how your back feels, noticing just where that first edge of rotation feels like it's coming from. And then these last three, see if you can follow the breath. Inhale as you come into the closed book, exhale as you open up. All right, now the next time you're in that open book position, you're going to stay there and settle into it. So you're going to give yourself a moment to get your yoga block where you want it to be. Make sure the pillow stack supports your legs in a nice way. Let your arm open up, and then maybe it touches the ground, maybe it doesn't. On this side, I do definitely tend to have a little bit more lack of range of motion. So it takes my body a minute to get that hand down to the ground. Allow it to be just what it is. Don't worry about it being perfectly symmetrical. And then take a moment just to breathe into the wateriness of your body. Now here for that last minute of work, if you like, add that novel movement where you scrunch up your feet and lift your eyebrows, and then let your feet soften and soften your eyebrows. So the purpose of this novel movement of lifting the eyebrows and scrunching the feet is it's just a little playfulness into the fascia that runs from our eyebrows up and over the crown of the head, all the way down the back of the body and into the soles of the feet. So there's just this nice connected train of fascial connective tissue that goes from the soles of the feet to the eyebrows. So we're just playing with that space. Scrunch up the feet, lift the eyebrows, soften the feet, soften the eyebrows. Let everything come to stillness. Take a breath. And then slowly bring it back into that closed book. Softly come into that side lying position. We're going to bring ourselves up to Sukhasana, but possibly any seat really that lets you sit up nice and tall. We're just going to take a little neck stretch. So you're going to come up to a comfortable seat. And I would say that if it would feel really nice, take your pillows and put them around you like a little nest. So you're just going to kind of wedge them up in under your legs, come into that nice comfortable Sukhasana seat. You're going to take one wing, tuck it behind, and then you're going to drop your ear away from that shoulder. And then once you've got your way there, just 1 minute of soft breath. Let the breath come in and out nice and slow, and let the breath be the movement right now. One more breath with that little bit of stillness. And then you're going to keep your lips together. You're going to, as if you're trying to kiss your shoulder. So you're going to keep this head tilted position. You're going to kiss your shoulder and your eyeballs are going to look in the opposite direction. So you're going to smush your lips to one side as you look your lips over to one side and then bring it back to center. One more moment with that little diagonal and then let it come to stillness. Slowly lift up. Take a second, shoop out that shoulder, get a little synovial fluid back in. And then we're going to take it over to the other side. So you're going to take your wing, tuck it behind, drop your ear towards the shoulder, hang out there and let your breath slow down. All right, now we're going to take that little bit of novel movement. So take one more breath in stillness. You're going to keep your lips together. Your lips will smush over as if they're trying to kiss your shoulder, and your eyeballs are going to look in the opposite direction. So we're going to get a little diagonal work going on. So smush your lips, kiss your shoulder, look your eyeballs up towards the ceiling, and then come back in, and then just alternate between those two spaces. Take a second to release. One side, my lip kept wanting to go the other way too. Take a second to release your shoulder. Give it a little shrug, give it a little wiggle. Now we're gonna go into an X pattern. So you're gonna take one pillow, it's gonna come up left corner of your mat. And then one pillow is gonna go down right corner of your mat. And then we'll make little wiggles and adjustments as we go. You might like your yoga block towards the front end of your mat, possibly to be a little bit of support underneath your head. Play with the shapes that feel good. We're coming down into our belly. One leg is on the pillow and then the other arm on the pillow. So we want one arm low, one leg low, one arm high, slightly high, one leg slightly high. And then support your head if that feels good. Probably yoga block low setting, just resting underneath your forehead. Possibly leave it off and let your head come down. Go where it feels nice. And then once you've found the positioning that feels pretty good, nice, slow, deep, intentional breaths. The breath is the movement here. Let your breath come in and out nice and slow and deep. In this particular position, the attempt is to create a novel stretch across the fascial line of the body and create a slight sense of opening through the front pockets of the jeans. So notice if you're gripping your butt muscles or clenching your butt muscles. See if you can invite some softness into your butt muscles. And then because we're down on our belly in that prone position, there is a light compression onto the abdomen. So now we want to relax the butt muscles and then breathe like you're trying to breathe way down into the back pockets of your jeans. Take one more breath here. Before we release and take it over to the other side, give your hips a little hip slush. Just wag your hips a little side to side, just to encourage that last little letting go, reduction of the gripping of butt muscles, a little bit of soothing rocking motion into the thoracolumbar fascia. And then once you feel like you've slushed your hips just enough, we're going to take that work and pass it over to the other side. So you're going to take that upper pillow, pass it over to the right. You're going to take that low pillow and pass it over to the left. Get yourself nice and coordinated spacing of your pillows, adjust your yoga block so it's where you want it to be. And then once you feel like you've got one arm high, one arm low, one leg a little high, one leg a little low, let your breath come back in nice and slow. So just allow that slow, deep, intentional breath to move the wateriness of your body. Because one side might always feel a little different from the other, we don't hold perfect symmetry in our body. Take a moment just to notice, is there any lingering place where you're kind of holding tension or gripping? Can you reduce tension in your abdominal muscles? Can you relax your butt muscles? Can you soften your jaw? Once you found that slight reduction of gripping of any muscles, then breathe nice and low and slow and deep, like you're trying to let that breath move your low back. That's how deep you're breathing down into the back pockets of your jeans. And the breath moves the thoracolumbar fascia just a little bit. Taking one more cycle of breath, and if it feels good, add that little touch of hip slushing just to invite that nice rocking motion into the low back. Give it that nice, soft, gentle vibration. Take your time. And then once you feel like you've rocked your hips just enough, we're going to slowly come up to tabletop position so that we can readjust our pillows. So take your time as you bring yourself up. Go nice and slow. We're going to adjust our pillows so they're going to come across the mat. So they're going to be horizontal and they're going to be one in front of the other. And similar to our split seam where we had that split where we went the length of the spine, now you want the split of the seam to be in the front pockets of the jeans. So you might actually create just a slightly wider gap, because what we want to have happen is that the thighs will be in a slight elevation, the chest will be in a slight elevation, and the hip points can just soften into that crack of the pillows and get a nice gentle held opening. So we're going to get there. We're going to do a little wiggle around. You might want your yoga block to the front end of your mat, because then we're going to do a little bit of back extension and we're going to put the yoga block underneath the center of our chest. It will feel firm, but you can handle it. So get your Get your hip pillows where you think you want them to be. Line up that front pockets of the jeans with the split of your pillows. And then Sphinx-like position for the upper body. So the solar plexus and the belly are slightly held. Once you get here, you're going to soften your butt muscles as much as you can. And imagine that your hip bones are just trying to sink further and further down into that split of the pillows and that gap. And with each inhalation, with each inhaled breath, you're going to breathe as if you're trying to breathe down into that split gap of the pillows. For 1 minute of our work, when we get there, we're going to take a little time to soften first. We're going to go into a little bow pose where we bend our knees, our feet hold on to our hands, and we might adjust our yoga block to a medium or tall height so that your chin can be in a lifted position. It's only 1 minute of work, but it can feel a little like a trust. You want to trust your pillows. You want to trust your props. So you're going to see how it feels here first. Can you soften? Can you relax? Do you feel at ease in this position? Notice your breath. And then you're going to see, how does it feel to take your yoga block and flip it? Let's start with the tallest setting of your yoga block. And could you just rest your chin on the yoga block? And does that feel comfortable? Do you trust the yoga block to hold your chin? Notice your breath. You want to be able to slow deep breath the whole entire time. If the yoga block feels good underneath your chin, you're going to see if you can keep it there. Free up your elbows just a little bit. Bend your knees. This might already be enough. If this feels good and you think your hands can reach back and catch hold of your shoelaces or your tops of your feet, you're going to go there. And then once you've got a little bit of a handhold, you're going to move your knees out just a touch wider. And then you're going to come back to that idea of breath where you just let those bones of your hips sink into the gap of the pillow. Take a moment to notice, are you gripping your butt muscles? Can you let your butt muscles relax? Three more cycles of breath, and breathe like you're trying to move the edges of your skin with that wateriness of your breath. And then once you've taken that last good, slow, deep, intentional breath, you're going to slowly, and carefully release your hold of your feet and your legs. Let your legs float down. Walk your elbows back underneath you so you're in that more Sphinx-like position. Relax your butt muscles. Give your hips a little hip slush. Now we're going to adjust our pillows again, and now we're going to go into that heavy dragon tail position where the pillows are stacked and both pillows are underneath the front pockets of the jeans, and then that's where we'll adjust our block so it'll come underneath the center of our chest. So slowly and mindfully push your way up through a table, maybe come back into a little child pose just to get that nice stretch into that low back for a second, and then the next time you come back up, restack your pillows so one on top of the other, keep them in that horizontal position, and now they're going to come underneath the front pockets of the jeans. Once you've got that stack of pillows underneath the front pockets of your jeans, take your yoga block. Yoga block is going to be low setting, wide setting. So it's going to come across the center of your chest. So it is in that breast tissue material. So you're going to give it a second. You want to make sure there's no corners or edges digging into any place that doesn't feel just okay. And then you're going to soften over that block just a little bit. It is going to put a compression in that tissue. So let it be soft as you can be. You want to think about your tailbone getting heavy towards your heels. So you've got that nice heavy dragon tail. It's getting nice and heavy down. And I've got my arms in that slight crocodile position so that I can control how much pressure I'm putting into the front of my chest. Take some low, slow, deep breaths. You want to breathe like you're trying to breathe down into the back pockets of your jeans. Now we're going to keep our hips supported on the stack of pillows, and we're going to keep our chest supported on the yoga block. So we're going to adjust it just so it feels nice enough. And now we're going to see if we can bring our arms out into T position, straight out at the sides. On the ground at first, and then we're going to do a little back extension and lift. So you're going to start by lifting your arms. Lift your chest, look forward just a little bit, feel that nice engagement in back body muscles, and then slowly lower your arms, lower your chest, lower your chin like you're trying to touch your chin to the yoga block. And then you're going to lift your chin, lift your arms, lift your chest, lower your arms, lower your chest, lower your chin like you're trying to touch your chin to your yoga block. Lift your chin, lift your arms, lift your chest. Lower your arms, lower your chest, lower your chin, chin to the block. So you get that nice cervical nod. One more time, just like that. Lift your chin, lift your arms, lift your chest. Lower your arms, lower your chest, lower your chin. Hands are going to slide in. Slowly prop yourself up. Now we're going to take a moment to readjust again. So we're going to go into child's pose position, but we're going to use our pillow to be a little bit of an abdominal massage. So one pillow is going to be across your tops of your thighs, knees a little bit wide, and you're going to wedge that pillow in. We want to stuff it in as much as we can. And then with that wedge, you're going to come over your pillow, and then your other pillow can be in front of you, resting your arms. It can be underneath your head. Maybe you throw the yoga block in as well, so you get your head supported, your arms are in that soft supportive position, and your abdominal muscles are going to be as soft as they possibly can. It puts a little space between your belly and your thighs, and you want to breathe like you're trying to breathe again into that low back. So take those nice, low, slow, deep breaths. for these last few moments of breath here. If you can, breathe so deep and so low and so slow that you can feel the movement of breath down into your sits bones, down into your butt cheeks. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, slowly, 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 you're going to bring yourself up just enough so you can spin your legs off to one side. And then we're just going to reconfigure from a seated position. So you're going to spin your legs out so they come into a nice wide leg seat. And you're going to stuff your pillows underneath the bends of your knees. So once you've got the pillows underneath the bends of your knees, you're going to take a second, get your yoga block. It's going to go on tall setting, and your hands are just going to rest tall setting, medium setting, depending on your height. So go for that nice wide leg, but supported bend of the knees, and then just fold right into that yoga block. And then once you've got your way there, take a second to just do the little wiggles, work out everything so it feels good and comfortable. Your toes and your knees can fall in just a little bit if that feels good, or they can fall out. Go for the open position that feels good. And then come back to that idea of breathing into the wateriness of your body. Feel like you're moving that breath all the way out to the edges of your skin. Now this shape might feel like perfection. You might be like, I'm already where I want to be and I am at my edge. If it feels good, but you think you could take it a little bit wider, you're going to just do a little scooch around with your legs so that they come a little bit wider. And then you're going to flip your yoga block so it comes to medium height. And then you're going to soften over that medium height. And if you get there and it's like, oh, that's too much, dial it back. But if it feels comfortable enough, then ask yourself, what can you soften? Can you soften the muscles around your thighs? Soften the muscles around the outer edge of your hip. Soften the soles of your feet. One more breath in this forward position, and then we're going to come up and do just a little side work. So when you're ready, walk yourself up just enough. Right hand's going to come to the inside of the right inner thigh, and you're going to push against it so the knee comes into a slightly turned out position. And then reach your arm up and overhead, but go for yawning reach and release. So you're just going to do a little outward stretch like you're reaching toward your toe, and then a little bit of softening. So you're just going to go in and out. So you're just kind of creating that nice tension in that side body fascia along the side of the rib cage, and then giving them that slight sense of release. Go for one more stretch and release, and then take it over to the other side, elbow to the inner thigh. Open up that inner thigh just a little bit so the foot falls open, and then take it into that yawning stretch and release. So you just open up, stretch that side body fascia, and then give it that little bit of softening. Beautiful. When you're ready, slowly, slowly, slowly bring yourself up and out. Grab the pits of your knees. Help walk your legs in together. Give them a little windshield wiper action. We're going to set our pillows up in a stack. We're going to come down, do a little figure four stretch to each side, and then we're going to go into our open heart back bend. So double stack your pillows, put them just somewhere where they're ready to go. Yoga block off and out of the way. Scoot your bum forward. Come down onto your back. Right leg is going to come over the left. Take a second here in just the low position to notice. Now, you might like to take one of the pillows and wedge it under your curve of your butt if that feels good. But for me, if I hold on to my legs, my figure four feels pretty good all the way. So when you feel ready for it, lift your legs up into that figure four shape. Grab through, hold on, and then just let it be a soft held figure four. See if you can take a moment just to notice the back of your neck. Do you have a nice long back of your neck, or is it chin tilted up looking up to the corner of your ceiling? Can you lengthen the back of your neck so your chin's slightly tucked? Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, slowly, slowly, slowly release your hold. Let your feet float down to the ground. Pause in the down position. Just give it a second. And then when you're ready, hop your right leg off, but step it out a little bit wide. And now right knee that was just getting that figure four is going to go a little internal rotation and back up. So you're just going to drop that knee in as if you're trying to touch your left inside ankle bone. Go in and out. Just take a couple in and out so you find that nice outer hip stretch or side of the glute stretch. And then once you've done just enough so you feel like there's a little bit of ease in that glute and that hip, now we're going to take that figure four to the other side. So right leg on the ground, left leg hops over. Take a second in the low position just to notice and feel. And then if it feels good, lift up, thread your hands through, and come back to that soft hold. Notice your breath. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, slowly release so that the right foot touches down to the ground. Pause in the low position, take a breath. And then when you're ready, hop your left leg off, but step it out just slightly wide so you can get that knee dropping in internal rotation. So we're just going to let that left knee drop in like it's trying to touch that right inside ankle bone. And then just take a few in and out. Take your time as you go. Notice if you're holding tension in your jaw. Lovely. One more moment there. Now we're going to take front pocket of the jeans stretch, but it's not going to be a long hold. It's just going to get out there, do 3 yawning stretches, and then come away from it. So a lot of times when we do this particular stretch, I'll go yoga block, low setting, slide it underneath your butt. But if you have a little room in your body for just a slight bit more height, you're going to see how does it feel to flip the yoga block to medium height, put it underneath your butt. If you get there and already your low back is like, yo, no, thank you. Flip it back to low setting. Go where it feels good. We just want a nice big stretch through the front pockets of the jeans. So get the block set, hold on to it, walk your feet down to the end of your mat, flex your feet. Once you've got your way there, if you feel like you can't soften into this shape quite enough, or you feel like it feels unstable, or there's not a lot of trust going on, flip it back down to low setting. If it feels good, if it feels interesting enough and you feel like you're in good control of everything, now take your arms and stretch them up above your head, and then we add that pandiculation. Inhale, stretch, push through your heels, spread your fingers, get that nice big feeling of stretch through the front pockets of your jeans, and then let your exhale bring you into a little softness. And then do it again. Inhale, flex your feet, spread your fingers, yawn and reach and stretch. Get that intentional stretch through the front pockets of your jeans, and then let your exhale soften you. One more time. Inhale, yawn and reach and stretch from your heels to your fingertips and find that good intention through that front pocket. And then when you're ready, soften everything slowly. Walk your feet back in. Lift your butt up into a high bridge. Squeeze your glutes. Don't let them go. Slide that yoga block out from underneath you. Bring your hands down alongside your hips. Keep your butt up in the air. Squeeze your butt muscles. Don't let them go. Squeeze them again. Don't let them go. Squeeze them one more time. Hold that good squeeze. Relax the squeeze of your butt muscles one vertebrae at a time. You're going to lower down nice and slow and controlled. Upper back, middle back, low back, hips touch down, right knee into the chest, little baby stretch. Set it down, left knee in towards the chest, little baby stretch. Set it down, and then sit yourself up so that we can reposition our pillows one last time. And my suggestion will be that possibly you get a little bit of that extra ramp. So you take the yoga block low setting, it goes down first, and then you take your stack of pillows and the high end goes onto the yoga block. So it creates that nice inclined plane. And then once you've got your way there, you kind of get your butt where you want it to be, nice and close to that stack of pillows. Let your heart soften over that stack of pillows. Let your arms open out nice and wide. And then you're going to ask yourself, what's going to feel good for your legs? Does it feel good to come into a butterfly position, Baddha Konasana, Supta Baddha Konasana? Does it feel a little bit better to go more broken fish? Let your legs go nice and long and let the toes fall out. So you're going to ask yourself, what's going to feel good? What could create a little bit of effortlessness into your hips, into the front pockets of your jeans? What could create a little effortlessness in your low back? And then once you've found that sort of idea of gentle effortlessness, take a moment to notice, is there anything else that wants adjusting? Do your hands want a different place to be? Do they want to come behind your head and get that nice big open heart and open armpits? And then all you got to do once you found a good enough position for your body, breathe into the wateriness of your body. Let that breath do the movement for you. Slow, intentional breaths. Breathe like you're trying to breathe right down into the front pockets and back pockets of your jeans at the same time. Allow your awareness to come back into your body and gently start to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. And then when you feel a slightly deeper breath come back into your body, move your wrists and move your ankles, twinkle your fingers, wiggle your toes. And then take that first yawning stretch. Point your toes wherever you can, stretch your arms up above your head. Feel that first initial yawning stretch. And then we're going to step the feet in so that they're in a bent position. And then we're going to do a little scoop and curl. So we're going to get a little bit of an engagement back into the front fascial line of the abdomen and the abdominal muscles. So with your arms a little bit out in that open T position, you're going to scoop your arms up. And as if you're trying to press your belly button into the stack of your pillows, you're going to come up just a touch. And then you're going to lower back onto that soft pillow stack and open your arms out nice and wide. And then do it again. Sweep your arms in, belly button to the spine, scoop up just a touch. And then soften over the stack of pillows. Let your arms open out nice and wide. Exhale, do that nice little scoop. Press belly button to the spine. Lift up just a touch. Lower back down. One more time, follow the breath. Exhale, do that nice big scoop up. Inhale to open back up. And then this time as you exhale, scoop up, grab your thighs, use that little handhold to come up in a nice gentle way, and then maybe Sukhasana crisscross applesauce. And the last little bit that we're going to do is going to be a thumb. We're going to go thumbs down to thumbs up. So you're going to take your thumb to your third eye center and you're going to press. And then you're going to rotate so the thumb goes into the up position. But as you rotate, you want to feel like it kind of takes the skin along for the ride, so there's a little bit of a little twist. And then you're going to look your eyeballs to the armpit. So if your left arm is there, you're going to look to your left armpit and hold that steady gaze. Take a nice big breath in. Slow breath out. Release your thumb. And then we're going to take it to the other side. Thumbs down to thumbs up. And then you're going to look your eyeballs to that armpit, elbow pit, and then hold that steady gaze. Take a nice big breath. And then when you're ready, release your thumb and then just let your hands stack on top of your heart. Take a moment just to bow your head to your heart, your mind to your body. Take a nice big breath of love and gratitude toward yourself, for your mind, for your body, for all of your gentle work. And then one last exhale for softness. Soften your shoulders, soften your armpits, soften your jaw. Let go of anything you're holding on to that won't serve you for the next 5 minutes. And then when you're ready, gently lift up through the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. You are amazing.